Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to today's game, which is Sonic CD, the very interesting and bizarre Sonic game that came out, somewhere around the same time as Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It was actually developed at exactly the same time, and it was kind of originally intended to be like fused with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 to be like one game, but then development kind of went the other way and it became its own separate game. And this is going to start showing the opening cutscene, which is kind of interesting, the whole animated thing. But my video is going to get, completely toasted for copyright stuff if that happens. Actually, it was showing a demo there. Sometimes it shows the opening cutscene, and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, that is one of the interesting things. I mean, it has the Sonic Boom song here, which everyone is people have their different opinions about, and it has the animated cutscenes, which are very interesting. But yeah, we're going to be playing some Sonic CD, so enough of this incredible title screen, which looks like the title screen from Sonic 1, but, like, a lot nicer. So I actually do really like the title screen there. But despite the fact that, looking at it might be fun, why don't we actually just start the game and see what we have here? Because we have Palm Tree Panic Act 1. So Sonic CD, like I said, it's a very interesting game. We have our spin dash here, which was not, in the very first game. It kind of made its debut in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And we also have crazy things like this, which will probably never happen again. I think that's like the only time in the entire game where you kind of get an angle like that. No, there might be a few other spots, but overall that doesn't happen very often. And you usually have a kind of 2D view here, like 2D Sonic games typically have. One of the gimmicks of Sonic CD, though, is the whole time thing, where you pass one of these signs, and then you look down at the bottom left beside Sonic's lives counter there, and you have whatever the last sign that you passed was. Now, if you pick up a whole bunch of speed, without stopping, you will actually transport to whatever time that is. So, you'll either represent to the teleport to the future or to the past, and it'll be kind of like a redone, section. Sorry, what am I trying to say? The level, whatever level you're in, you'll kind of go to a completely parallel version of that, depending on which one you go to. Like the past is usually a pretty calm version. With a few with less enemies, and the future, it's all mechanical, like Robotnik has taken over, and you can play to the level in kind of that time, rather than, the present, which is what you started. Now, yeah, I was having a lot of trouble explaining that. Also, checkpoints look like they do in the first Sonic game, rather than, the whole star kind of on the ball thing that, later Sonic games will have. There's Amy, there's the goal. If you pass the goal and you have 50 rings or more, you can go to the bonus game, just like in Sonic the Hedgehog 1. So yeah, it's actually really interesting to see the things in this game that were taken from Sonic the Hedgehog 1 that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 didn't really take from Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Like, the bonus games are different. What else am I trying to say? This game has 3 acts rather than 2, like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and almost all other games had, Sonic games had after that. I mean, of course, there is, the exception of Metropolis Zone in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, although pretty much after this, almost all Sonic games only had 2 acts in their levels rather than 3, like Sonic 1 originally did. Also, when you kill enemies, a flower grows, rather than animals coming out, which is kind of funny. Also, if we jump to the left, I saw, secrets, but, secrets are all over the place. What I really want to do is gain a whole bunch of speed, so I can demonstrate going to a different time zone, rather than just, babbling on about it in a way that nobody can ever understand. But I'm not having much luck with that. That's something I've always had trouble with in Sonic CD. I can't deny, is actually getting the speed that you need to transport to different time periods. I don't know, I just always have a problem with that, even though, I mean, there's probably some people out there who are like, oh, you're just doing it completely wrong, which, would not surprise me in the slightest. But I believe we're going to the past now. So yeah, as you can see, the past, yeah, it kind of has, what kind of colors are these? They're not really vibrant colors. They're more kind of, not so vibrant colors. But it still looks quite nice, and you can tell that it's the past because, the way that things look. And there aren't as many enemies here. Things are typically, a lot calmer and more peaceful. The music represents that. Although, speaking of the music, it's very important to point out that Sonic looks absolutely awesome right there. No, that, the North American version had a different soundtrack from the European and Japanese versions. And there is much debate over which soundtrack is better, although, I mean, typically people will say that the Japanese soundtrack is better and complain that we did not get that one here. Why they decided to completely redo the soundtrack for North America, I have absolutely no idea. It's always silly when, they change things for certain regions, and they don't necessarily explain why the heck they are doing these things. Also, what do I even want to do around here? But yeah, we're in the past now, so like I've gone over a million times exactly how the past works. And did we not end the last level with exactly the same number of rings? I want to do a bonus game, because the bonus games in this game are kind of interesting, like a game. But yeah. What you really want to do is actually go to the future in each zone, because hidden in the future version of each zone is kind of this mechanical machine that you have to destroy in each level in order to get the best ending. Now, it's kind of, and also it will kind of affect what time zone the boss fight takes place in. So since we did not destroy any of those machines, the boss fight is doomed to take place in the future, which Robotnik has taken over, and you know, he's being all evil and all that. Also, usually in the boss fight, you will be able to find tons of items and rings, which is typically, you know, not something that you find before a boss fight in most Sonic games. Although typically in most Sonic games, the boss fight will take place in Act 2, rather than in its own separate act. But yeah, we're not going to get too into that. Also, darn it, I just want to make this simple jump, if that is, like, if you don't mind. There's, I wanted those. Thank you. Now we can proceed on to the boss with invincibility and all that jazz. There's an extra life, but who even really cares? So now we have invincibility. We can completely, you know, abuse the heck out of this boss. We're supposed to kind of stand in front of him and, you know, jump over those things that he's holding up. But yeah, so I don't really know what it's kind of a waste of a boss fight. I mean, if you're going to put invincibility in the boss fight, like, why did you bother making the boss fight at all? Also, you destroy this thing, and instead of by jumping on, like, top of a, you know, like the button, like you usually do to free all the animals, just kind of do that. And it breaks that. And flowers come out. So yeah, animals are not the prominent thing in this game. It's like Sonic is sad because the environment is dying. So it's like super environmental science mode right here. And yeah, that is the first world of the game. One thing about Sonic CD is that if you don't worry about going into the future and finding all of the machines that you need to destroy and stuff like that, it is quite a short game. I mean, despite the fact that there's 3 acts in each zone, of course one of those acts is always just kind of a really short boss thing like you saw right there. But of course, the main thing that Sonic CD is known for is the introduction of Metal Sonic, if you don't, you know, count that boss thing at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Metal Sonic. It's kind of just like robot bootleg Metal Sonic. But yeah, Metal Sonic made his first appearance in this game, and you do the epic kind of battle with him later on, but we're probably not going to play until we get to that part, but I'm sure a lot of people have probably seen it and know about it anyway. But if not, definitely play Sonic CD if you haven't. Because you can get it on a whole bunch of things these days. You can get it on, like, you know, PlayStation Network and all Steam and all that. So definitely take the time to play through it if you haven't. Some people consider it the greatest Sonic game ever made. I definitely would not hold it in that regard. I'm not entirely sure why some people say that. I mean, of course, everyone's entitled to their opinion, so go for it. I'm not telling you not to think that Sonic CD is the best Sonic game ever made. But I do question it, because there's definitely, like, I mean, Sonic 2, I find, is a better game than Sonic CD. But maybe there's just something I'm missing here that some people, you know, are able to see that I'm not. So please give your opinions of this game and what you think about it. And if you are one of the people who think it is the best game out there, so I would love to know exactly what your perspective is on these serious economical issues. But enough about the dying economy. Let us continue on here, and this is the most annoying bumper thing ever. Okay. This thing right here is the thing that you need to find. Actually, no, do you need to find it in the past or the present or the future? No. Actually, I think I might have got that confused. I think you actually need to find it in the past? Either way, this thing right here represents what you need to find. And that's right. Now that I'm thinking about it, I believe you actually need to find it in the past of each zone, and not the future. So this is like this represents where it would be if you were in the right time zone in order to destroy it. Although I think whoa, that was some very bad luck. Wow, that does not shoot me up as far as I thought it would. So yeah, see the past right here. So if we could get to the past and then make it back to that kind of spot, we could kind of, you know, save the universe from extinction. But like I've said a million times, I have so much trouble working at the speed needed. But who knows, this might actually end up working out. Let us have a look here as we travel through time, space, and time. Okay. Alright, so we're up here now. And can we get to that machine over there? Is there a way that we can pull that off? If we go up here, no, it's going to be too long of a jump. There might be another way to get over there, though, if we jump on top of this platform. But yeah, as you can see, the past is always a lot less mechanical than the future of levels. And I mean, that's kind of the point. You know, before Robotnik got there, started screwing everything up. Okay, so how do I get back up to that machine? That is something I kind of want to figure out. Can we do it from over here? Maybe? No, we cannot. But if we go down here, there might be a way? Maybe. Actually, no. So if we go up here, I don't want to go to the future. Let's jump over that. Can we somehow get over to where I want to go? Yes, maybe we can. Okay. So I think now if we go to the left, we should find what I'm looking for. Actually, okay, do that. Go to the left. There we go! So yeah, it wasn't on screen for very long, but yes, in the past, it's the past, not the future. You need to find that machine and destroy it. And if you can do that in every single past version of every single level, you will get the better kind of ending. And also, the boss fight will not take place in the future, but rather it takes place in the past, I believe, which usually makes things easier. Although the last boss fight was so easy, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, I'm happy that I was able to demonstrate that, and I kind of suck at this game. But you know what? I'm not even going to worry about that. And yeah, we're not going to be getting a bonus game in this level again because I lost all of my rings, which is disappointing. But yeah, look at this. Crazy level design here with springs all over the place. It's pretty great. It almost feels like freaking a bootleg of Casino Night Zone, except it has nothing to do with a casino at all. And look at that water effect at the bottom. It's kind of interesting. Alright. And yeah, I mean, the levels, this is something I would love to see in, you know, Sonic games these days. I used to love how expansive the levels were. I mean, there's so much exploring that you can do around here. And the sad part of this is that most of it isn't really necessary. I mean, as long as you find the machine, there's really no reason to explore the rest of the level, even though it's clear that so much effort went into making it expansive and, you know, multi-path. It's really quite interesting, and the Sonic CD is a really cool game because of that. I mean, this just because I said it, even though I don't think it's the greatest Sonic game ever made, I definitely don't think it's a bad Sonic game. No, it's actually a really, really good Sonic game, and that's why I'm telling everyone to go download it on your, you know, recent consoles now if you do not actually own a Sega CD. Anyway, going into this thing here. So yeah, I mean, this zone just screams Casino Night, even though it has nothing to do with Casino Night. Also, I really need a drink, so I'm going to do that. But yeah, overall, yeah, there's a lot of casino influence in this level. Which is kind of interesting. Anyway, I talk too much. In case you did not know, I talk too much. I love the comments where people are like, Andrew, you talk way too much. I guess, I don't know, I talk a bit. I always have a lot to say, which is kind of funny, because, you know, some people don't have a lot to say, but I do, for whatever reason, talk quite a bit. You blended in with the ground, because I wasn't really paying attention there. But yeah. For the people who you know, do not like the constant commentary, I apologize. But I don't know, I feel like, I guess, my mentality, as far as commentary goes, reflects my mentality as far as level design in video games goes. And I find that, you know, if I'm not, you know, always talking about, you know, what's going on, it kind of gets boring. Just as in a, like, you know, a level of a video game, if there isn't always something to kind of keep your interest, the level becomes kind of boring. And that's something you commonly see in Super Mario World ROM hacks. Now, I don't expect everyone to be an expert on Super Mario World ROM hacks, but a lot of people who create levels, there's a lot of open area with not really, you know, many enemies or, you know, like obstacles to avoid. Just kind of lots of flat areas of ground with, you know, a few blocks and coins. And I can never support that kind of level design because it's like, it's just wasted space. I mean, there should always be something to keep the players' interaction and, you know, keep them on their toes, you know, keep them in the game. So I guess that, you know, my commentary kind of reflects that in my videos, where I always want to be talking because I feel like, you know, if I'm not, you know, commentating on the level and stuff, then what is the point of me even being here? And I figure that, you know, people want to, you know, hear what I think about things. So that is why I talk a lot. Okay, although we should take a break for a second so I can kind of even collect what the heck is going on here. We are in the future. This might actually be the very first time that we have traveled to the future, maybe? Unless I've just not been paying attention, which is quite possible. But yeah, as you can see, the present is kind of mechanical, but the future is really super massively mechanical. I mean, I guess we've been to the future in, you know, the boss fight, but yeah. That's kind of the whole point of Sonic CD, is go to the past, and stop the future from becoming absolutely terrible. This is kind of like the biggest metaphor of real life I have ever seen. I mean, you know, everyone thinks Google is like the best company ever. Well, they used to. I mean, all the things they've been doing lately, people might not think that. But, you know, everyone was like, man, Google's so great. They do this and they do this and they have all these things. But, you know, if Google keeps getting their hands on every single company out there, eventually they're going to be like the biggest monopoly ever. And what do you think they're going to do when they have the biggest monopoly ever? You know, be nice to everyone and give everyone free stuff? Of course not. They're going to start charging for everything and, like, you know, making all these changes that no one likes. So do not think that Google is not evil, because like every company in the universe, they're pretty evil. But anyway, that is my rant about Google. And Sonic got through Zone 2, although we did not break the machine thing, so boss fight will take place in the future. And yeah, so we're going to continue on to the right here. And again, we have a little bit of a level thing to go through before we get to the boss fight. And you can kind of see Eggman in his thing. Actually, I guess this is still back when he was Robotnik. Take your pick on the name. Robotnik is a lot, I think it's a better name, but Eggman is an easier name to say. So sometimes I will say Eggman, sometimes I will say Robotnik, sometimes I will say who the heck knows what. But the point is, this is an interesting boss fight. Actually, all of the boss fights in Sonic CD are kind of interesting. So I mean, again, to kind of represent that this is the casino pinball zone, the boss fight actually takes place in a gigantic pinball machine. And going all the way to the bottom will, of course, send you into those spikes, which is not good. Although otherwise the point is to use the flippers here to work your way to the top so that you can get to Robotnik. Now, it's actually very tricky because there's so many things to kind of hit on your way up. And yeah, we avoided that, which is nice. But yeah, this boss fight's always kind of annoyed me. It's actually really simple once you like get to the top section, but just sometimes the flippers are really unpredictable, and it just kind of makes things more frustrating. You know, rather than, you know, fun. Plus, the gap that you have to get up through is really small sometimes, and of course those springs help. But overall, this boss fight is kind of interesting. But the point is, just want to get up through here, want to do that, want to do that, and once you're at the top, things are okay. But sometimes getting to the top is kind of annoying. And there you go. Wow, we ended the boss fight with more rings than we have ended any level off with. I'm kind of disappointed that we never got to see a bonus game, but that will just be motivation for you to go and play Sonic CD for yourself. But with that said, I believe Sonic CD has 6 zones, so we're almost halfway through the game already in like 15 minutes. So that's what I'm kind of saying, that Sonic CD is kind of a short game. Although Tidal Tempest is an awesome world, and especially the past. I absolutely love the music in the past, although even the present, the music is really cool. And we are completely stealing pipes from Mario Brothers there. But with that said, I think that 2 zones is enough for me to do today. But yeah, I encourage everyone to go and try Sonic CD for yourself, because it is a pretty fun game and is now widely available on probably your platform of choice. Now, I never asked Sonic to breathe in that bubble there. You were supposed to drown. No, you weren't. Sonic, nobody wants you to drown. Actually, that was like the worst part of Chemical Plant Zone in Sonic 2. Everyone always fell into the pink water and died. But with that said, I think this video has been pretty good, and I hope that you enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time for something different. So thanks, and see you later.